Hey, wives. Hello. How are you guys doing on this Self-Care Friday? Listen, I'm going to try not to hold you long today at all. Y'all know it's Friday. Best day ever. Happy Self-Care Friday. Coach T's favorite day of the week, honey. I enjoy me a good Friday. And self-care has already kicked in. Hey, Miss Lady. Happy Self-Care Friday. Listen, I'm going to jump right on into what I want to share on today. Don't want to keep y'all long. Don't want to keep you long at all, especially since I've already got into self-care mood. I'm going to actually move on. Of course, coming on, especially from the last video I made, we're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm not going to go into prayer because I don't want people to keep on getting this mixed up as a ministry. When you sign up for a session, that's different. But I want to just welcome. I want to welcome my wives. I want to welcome maybe the ones who may not know me, the ones who do know me. Welcome. My name is Coach T, and I am a mental health wife coach and marriage consultant. I coach wives who are going through a marriage separation. Most of the wives that I work with are dealing with separation with a husband that may be addicted to alcohol and drugs, may have abandoned their household, or may have maybe in an adulterous affair, maybe an adulterous relationship. Okay. Sometimes these husbands are still living inside of the home, and that husband and wife are living a separate life inside of the home. And so I coach those wives as well. So I want to welcome you, and I want to share a quick word with you, and just jump on into the message. All right. So today I titled this as Healthy Outlet. I woke up this morning and God reminded me of one of my first videos that I made on YouTube, maybe back in 2018, 2017, I think. But one of the videos that he brought to my attention was, you always been teaching and talking to the wife about, being a healthier helper, living a healthier lifestyle, taking care of yourself from a healthy point of view. And so I bring it up to just say, I want wives to really, really get to a place where you are prioritizing your well-being. You have to understand, wives, that your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health is so very important on this journey. All right. And so I want to just start off by saying that a lot of people do not prioritize their mental health in relationships. People just don't do that. It's almost like that's not even a normal, that's not even a normal. All right. Instead, what they do is they utilize people as an exchange for their own healing. Basically, they're dependent on somebody else to fill in some type of void, to give them something that they are missing. Okay. And so they utilize people to get their own healing instead of getting their healing that they need for themselves. They end up getting a new boo. All right. They end up, dating right after a breakup. They end up, following some same repeated cycle that they probably seen growing up. Just things that they just see in the world that's taking place in the world today. And a lot of times what people are not realizing is that you need that time. You need that time to recuperate. You need that time to, get yourself back into a healthier place. You need that time in that space. While going through a marriage separation, you not only have to prioritize your mental and emotional health, which is very, very essential. You have to understand that a marriage separation is not just about, okay, when me and my husband are separated, you know, we're not together at this time, and so I'm going to date other people, or I'm going to, you know, find me a little, you know, a little side boo on the side, or, you know, I'm gonna do some of the same things that he doing. I hear stories like this all the time. Or, you know, he was doing something, so, you know, I decided to do something too, and then maybe they have repented and, you know, came back to themselves and like, okay, now I want to do better. But I hear stories like this all the time about wives jumping into new relationships to kind of like cope with the marital separation, or trying to cope with what they're going through. And you have to understand that is not going to help you in the long run. That is very, very short-lived. It would not help you. It would not sustain you on this journey. Then on the other side of that, you have the wives who are going through a marriage separation, and what they're trying to do is jump back into their relationships with their husbands, not giving them a chance, not giving them a time to be apart, because what they're thinking is the longer we are apart, this is giving him more opportunity to do whatever he wants. Newsflash, wife, he gonna do whatever he want anyways. He's going to do whatever he wants anyways, whether you guys are together or not. You know, if he's not in a healthy place himself, he's going to do whatever he wants anyways. And so what wives are trying to do, they're trying to come back into relationship with him, or they're trying to, you know, have conversation with him on the phone, you know, invite him over to, you know, see the kids, invite him over, you know, to have dinner, invite him over so, you know, guys, you can still be intimate, you know, well, I'm his wife, so I can at least still have sex with him. And what wives need to understand is that marriage separation process is crucial, okay? It is not only crucial because of your of that time apart, it's crucial because God has allowed it. One of the things I always try to help wives to understand is if God has allowed the separation to take place, if he has allowed a separation to take place, he allowed it for a specific reason. And so instead of you trying to rush back into that marriage, you need to find out what is the reason behind this. Yes, to the, you know, to the obvious. It's like, okay, well, he's cheating, or, you know, he's involved with somebody else, or he's doing this, or he's doing that, or, you know, he done got, you know, he's been drinking heavily, he's been hanging out with the wrong crowd. I think he may be, you know, dealing with drugs or what have you. Yes, those things are the obvious. But if God allows a separation to actually take place, one of the things I am so very heavy on is expressing to wives, listen, find out why. Why did God allow it to get to this place? What, you know, what has happened? What has allowed you guys to get to this place? So instead of wives trying to jump back into the married bed, instead of wives trying to get their husbands back on the phone, instead of them, well, we still friends and we still cordial and we still talking, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. But I always tell wives, if you're gonna be separated, be separated. If that husband is not in the home, listen, that is one of the sweetest times of your life. It is one of the sweetest times of your life because God has something that he wants to tell you and he wants to get to you. Okay? And so I just want to just highlight that part right at the beginning. Okay? It's not about you wanting your husband back or getting him to do what you want him to do, but it's about pausing and doing an awareness check on yourself. A lot of times, and I shared this briefly on last week, a lot of times wives have come into these marriage covenants with their, you know, with their husbands, and they don't even know who they are. They are not even whole themselves. They are not even in a healthy place themselves. And so this is why I always just say having a marriage separation or going through a marriage separation is not necessarily always a bad thing. Sometimes it is God's grace giving you an opportunity to get yourself together, to get yourself back right, to help you to do that assessment check, you know, check on yourself and see where you are. Okay, it's not always a bad thing. This is something I do with my wife every time they check in. Every time I have a consultation, every time I do a wife check-in with my, you know, my wives who do her bonding boost or the mental and emotional health detox sessions, I always make sure that my wives are checking in. I check the status of where they are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, because all of these areas can affect you on this marital journey. All of these areas can affect you on this marital journey, not just one part of it. All of these areas can affect you on your marital journey. Okay, this is something I do every time. In the natural, you have to understand you are dealing with the reality of your husband who may have left the home, who may be in the home with another woman, who may be doing drugs or drinking. But then from a spiritual standpoint, you got to understand that you are in a spiritual battle. You're in a spiritual battle. When that marriage covenant has come apart, or when that marriage is on rocky ground, or when, you get that knock at the door, like, hardship has arrived at your door, you have to understand you are not just dealing with a physical circumstance. You are also dealing with a spiritual circumstance. All right. You are dealing with a spiritual battle. So you have to understand these things are very, very so much important. If you are unaware of what you got going on, or if you are unaware of yourself, then you will fumble and fail miserably on this journey. I am here to tell you on today. If you are not checking in on yourself, if you are not aware of what you got going on, you will fail miserably on this journey. All right. One of the most uncomfortable places to land is outside of God's will and plan for your life. That is one of the most uncomfortable places to land. Outside of God's will and his plan for your lives. And wives, you have to learn how to trust God through the misunderstanding. All right. Many wives that I speak with, many wives that I coach, many wives that I communicate with, wives are trying to understand what had happened. How do we get to this place? How can we fix this? How can we bring correction to this speedily? How can we bring us back together? This is not normal. The devil has taken over my husband. The devil is trying to ruin my household. And wives never take the time out to actually do an assessment. They never take the time out to do an assessment on where you are, what you got going on, where you want to be, and what's stopping you from getting there. All right. Wives have to start being more aware of what they have going on when it comes down to the marriage separation. A lot of times, it can be hard. It can be hard sometimes trying to understand, trying to trust God when you have misunderstanding happen all around you. It's very, very hard. But if you are properly prioritizing yourself, you will be able to kick in and hear exactly what God is trying to tell you on this journey. All right. So you need to first know that the enemy wants 3 things from you, wife, while you're going through your marriage separation. These are 3 things that he wants from you, and he comes from you hard on a regular, trying to attack these 3 things. All right. He wants your mind. All right. The enemy wants your mind. He's trying to drive you crazy. He wants to distract you. He's trying to keep you off focus. He's trying to keep you off track. He's trying to keep your mind, stay on your husband. He's trying to keep you, focused on other things. He wants your mind. All right. That's the first thing. Number 2, the enemy wants your heart. Okay. He wants your heart. He wants to keep you in a place of unforgiveness, keep you in a place of anger, resentment, keep your heart hardened. He wants to keep your heart in a dark place because he knows if your heart is not in a pure place, then anything that you ask of God, that God is going to, that you're not going to get those things because your heart is not in a good place. God looks at the heart. God judges the heart. God is looking at the heart. You can't come to God with all that gunk in there and saying, oh Lord, can you do this? Oh Lord, can you do that? And you got a hard heart going on. You got something that you're dealing with and you have not released yet. You have not forgiven yet. So many wives, this is a biggie, deal with torment on this journey because they are holding so much resentment. They are holding so much anger. They are holding so much unforgiveness. They're holding grudges and they're holding stuff they cannot release. This what's this? Like what's this? How we been married for 20 years, 25 years, 10 years, 15 years, and now all of a sudden he's tripping, and now all of a sudden he's going his way, and now all of a sudden he's deciding to do this. How did this happen? And so wives are holding on to that bitterness, to that resentment, to that anger, to those grudges. They cannot release this. And listen, wife, I'm telling you right now, if you are holding on to those things, I know that you are dealing with torment. I know that you're not sleeping well at night. And I know that your prayers are not getting through like they need to get through because you're holding too much gunk. He cannot work with that. God cannot work with a hardened heart. You got to keep your heart in a pure place on this journey. All right. And then the third thing that the enemy wants, he won't show emotions. He won't show emotions. All right. The enemy wants to keep you. He wants to keep you, hello, on a roller coaster ride. He wants to keep you on a roller coaster ride. He wants to keep you up, down, up, down. He wants to keep you confused. He wants to keep you in a holding cell. He wants you operating totally out of self-control. He don't want you to have no type of self-control. He wants you to be all kinds of messed up. All kinds of messed up. This is what the enemy is after, all right? He do not want your emotions to be under submission. He wants them to be so radical and so out of control that you end up getting yourself in trouble, driving your own self, crazy, becoming very ill. You can become very ill in being in that type of emotional state. All right. These are the things that he's after. All right. You have to understand these are the things that the enemy's after. And now you have to also understand that this attack, yes, it's your marriage, and yes, it's your marriage injury. But you have to understand why this attack goes way back. This attack goes way back to the beginning in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, when I sister Eve. All right. The enemy been big mad with women ever since Genesis. Okay. He's been big mad with women ever since the book of Genesis with our sister Eve. The enemy has hated you since God told him that it would be a woman who would smash his head. It would be a woman who would smash his head. And wife, you have to understand, because you have been given those type of instructions from the Lord, and the enemy knows that, you don't think that he want to come after your head? You don't think he want to come after you? You don't think he want to try to drive you crazy or drive you insane before you take him out? You don't think he wants to come after you? Okay? It would be a woman who would smash his head. Why? If God told you that when you would smash the serpent's head, so he's trying to get to your head first. You wife, have the authority and power from your father to smash the serpent's head. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to get to your head first. All right. He's trying to get to your head first. And so it's vital that wives take time and understand that, look, this is not just about, oh, I'm trying to get my husband back, or, oh, I want him to come back home, or, oh, you need to take time and do an assessment over yourself. You need to take time and examine yourself. You need to take time to figure out where you are on this journey and see exactly what you got going on. You need to take time to gather your own head, to gather your own emotions, to gather your own heart. You need to take time and let God do his work on you in those areas and let him examine you in those areas, okay? One of the things I tell my wife all the time, and I'm just going to encourage you to do this. I shared before, I'm a fan of the anointing oil. And I just tell wives, even if you cannot get to nobody, learn how to put hands on yourself. Learn how to anoint your hands in oil and lay hands on your own heart. Lay hands on your own head, okay? Lay hands on your own self before you if you're not able to get to nobody who can pray for you. Learn how to put your hands on yourself and like, oh God, I plead the blood of Jesus on my heart. God, help my heart to not be like this. Help me, God, to forgive me. Forgive this matter. Help me, God, to release this situation. Help me, God, to get to a better place. Learn how to lay hands on yourself. Okay, learn how to lay hands on yourself. All right. And so, what do you have to do? What do you have to do? The first things wives have to do is make a decision and refuse to be defeated. Make a decision and refuse to be defeated. And a lot of times you would not even believe the kickback from that. So many wives are struggling to make a decision. And the reason they are struggling to make a decision is because they refuse to do things God's way. They refuse to release their circumstance. They refuse to release that injury. They refuse to look, okay, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you only in this. They refuse to do that. And so because they refuse, now they become defeated. All right. They become defeated. Make a decision about what, Coach T? Okay. Make a decision about what? You have to make a decision, wife, to trust God anyway. You have to make a decision to show up anyway. You have to make a decision to be thankful anyway, okay? One of the best things wives can do for themselves on this journey is make a list of the things that they're thankful for. Stay in a position of gratitude. Because when you look at this situation, all you're going to see is, oh my God, this is so hard. This is so heavy. This is so this is so that. And let me tell you something. My uncle used to say this all the time. it could be worse. It could be worse, okay? It can be worse. The best thing you can do for yourself, wives, even when you're having a bad day, you just get you a piece of paper and you just write out the things that you're thankful for, because your situation could be worse. Best believe somebody else's situation may be worse than yours, okay? The stories I hear, the different stories I hear when I interact with some of these wives, I'm just like, man, it's man. Your story, your situation, your matter, your marriage injury could be worse, okay? Your marriage injury may be challenging. It may be challenging you in a way that may seem unreal, unethical, unjustified, but you have to learn how to push through that pressure, all right? And I want to just highlight this pressure, because, listen, it's pressure dealing with an unhealthy spouse. It's pressure knowing that your spouse is involved with someone else, knowing your spouse is in love with someone else, knowing that your spouse is putting time and energy with somebody else. It's pressure knowing that, your spouse has, become addicted to drugs and alcohol. It's pressure when, you're trying to figure out, how you're going to pay the bills, and, he's not helping out, with the bills. It's pressure when you're there by yourself and you're doing all these things. That's pressure, okay? That's some pressure. And wives got to learn how to find that healthy outlet. They got to learn how to be able to release that pressure, or that stuff will mess you up. You be right here, don't even know your own name, walking down the street, people be calling you, you don't even know who you are no more. Okay, and it's not a good place to be in, but this stuff can get you to that place if you are not taking care of yourself. This stuff can literally take you to that level if you're not taking care of yourself. I say it as a joke, but I'm dead serious, because this stuff happens. I've seen this stuff happen. I've experienced this stuff with different wives that I've encountered. And so you have to understand this stuff is real. You have to find a healthy way to release this pressure, okay? 2 examples of what pushing through looks like, okay? What does pushing through look like? And one of the examples I like to use is when it comes down to fasting. Let's just use fasting for an example. I remember my pastor will tell us, like, when we fast and we will fast without food, he will tell us when that hunger pain comes, right? When you get that feeling like, where you probably was fasting, you was doing good for the first hour, first 2 hours, first 3 hours, you was good. And then on that 4th hour come, you like, baby, baby, I'm feeling my back right now. Like, I need something. And he said, when that feeling comes, that's when you want to pray through that. Okay. That's when you want to pray through that. When that feeling comes, you want to pray through that. All right. Something very similar to that is when a woman who may have had a baby and, or get ready to have a baby, and she's going through contractions. And wife, if you've been pregnant before, or you ever experienced, childbirth, when those contractions come, you have to breathe through it, right? You have to breathe yourself through it until it passes. And wives, you have to understand this is the same thing that you have to do when it comes down to this type of injury, or when it comes down to these types of circumstances concerning your marriage. You have to know how to push through that pressure, breathe through that pressure, pray through that pressure, okay? Whatever it is that you have to do to get through that moment, you have to learn how to navigate through that. Now, I want to pause and first say this. Do not bypass the pressure without acknowledging it, okay? So many times wives just try to, they'll know a thing is happening, they'll see a situation happen, they'll have a situation come up, and they try to just ignore it. Like, I ain't never gonna believe that. I plead the blood of Jesus against that. You know what? I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. And they try to throw all these little Christianness, like little things on there, instead of acknowledge that, you know what? That may be happening. That may be taking place right now. I'm not necessarily agree with it, but you know what? I'm gonna speak Isaiah 54:17 on there. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I'm gonna speak Matthew 19:6 on there. What God had joined together, let that man separate. Okay, but don't forget to acknowledge it. Don't just throw everything on. Just throwing. The fancy Bible verses on there, and you're not actually acknowledging what you feel. Like, you need to learn how to acknowledge what you're feeling and what you're going through during that time, okay? So it's very, very important. When moments of frustration, confusion, misunderstanding arise, when you're dealing with different things, when you're dealing with that pressure, when that pressure arises, you have to make sure that you find a healthier way to release that. You have to make sure that you find a healthier way to get that stuff out, all right? You have to make sure that you're doing that in a healthier way. Hello. All right. And I want to just share with you, a few ways or a few outlets that you can utilize during this time when that pressure comes up. Okay. Wives, you are going to experience pressure on this journey when you're dealing with a marriage separation. You're going to experience that. It just comes with the journey. All right. What you have to learn how to do is push through that pressure in the most healthiest way. All right. Push through that pressure in the most healthiest way. Now, of course, accountability and having an accountability partner is gonna always be my go-to. Okay, I'm gonna always tell you, you need an accountability. You need accountability. All right. You can push through that pressure through prayer. You can push through that pressure through worship. You can push through that pressure through tears. You can push through that pressure with self-caring for yourself and taking care of yourself. Okay. You can push through that pressure with helping someone else. You can push through that pressure by starting a business, starting a ministry, starting your own small group, okay? Get busy doing something else. This is why this is so very, very, very important. Don't make everything about, oh my God, my marriage, oh my God, my husband, oh my God, what I'm going to do. No, get up and do something else, all right? Get up and get busy and do something else. Go help someone else, all right? Go take your neighbor across the street who don't got no car to the grocery store, okay? Go babysit somebody that, you know, who is a single parent and need help. Go and help somebody else, all right? Go and offer your time. Go and call somebody. Go and see how somebody else is doing. Get you off your mind and go and help somebody else. Okay, so that's one of the ways that you can push through. All right, you can go hang out with friends. All right, you can go shopping. You can do some cooking. You can go to your favorite restaurant. You can exercise. You can dance. All right, that's mine. You know, I like to do a little dance. I have my own personal concert in my mirror. That's neither here or there. I'll come back to that part. Okay. You can do some of those things to help you push through that pressure, all right? Push through that pressure through music, through reading, through reflecting, through journaling, through something in the most healthiest way, all right? You want to make sure that you do those things in the most healthiest way. I remember when I would have moments that come up, and even now, when I have, you know, stressful stuff that come up sometimes, or when I have, you know, dealing with something hard, or, you know, I ain't really sure, or like, you know, I'm like, God, you know, where you at? I ain't hear from you, what type of thing or whatever. Even now, one of the things I definitely go through before even like get into that, get into that deep place. One thing I do, I try to eliminate some of that pressure by, you know, I like music, and not necessarily just Christian music, okay? It's not necessarily Christian music. I'm an R&B and Afrobeat type of girl. I like a little, you know, a little rhythm, a little groove, a little, come on, Jesus. I'm a lover. And so I like to put some music on. Sometimes I just put my earphones on and just kind of like just drain everything out or whatever. Just kind of like, you know, just change the environment, change it. And sometimes that helps. That helps me. I'm real big on reading. I'm real big on, you know, getting me a real good book and, you know, going cuddling up in my bed, closing the door. I close everybody out. Everybody get out. I go and close up in my room. I read me a good book. And then another one that I do really well sometimes too is journaling and reflecting. And this is why I say again, go back to that gratitude list. Go back to that list of you being thankful. Okay, find your healthy outlet and utilize it to press through the difficult times. Why? You have to understand, you are gonna deal with so many curveballs, around the corners, up, down, the roller coaster ride. You're going to deal with so many different things on this journey. It ain't even funny, okay? You're going to deal with so many different things, but you have to know how to make sure to take care of yourself. You have to know how to make sure to prioritize you. You have to know how to be nice to yourself. You have to know how to make sure that you know what? I have a rhythm, I have a routine, I have a system, I have a regimen that works for me. You have to learn how to do that and learn how to be good to yourself, okay? It's so very important on this journey. Too many wives are becoming defeated. Too many wives are going under. Too many wives are taking some hard blows because they don't know how to handle their reign. They don't know, they cannot maintain this thing. They don't know how to duck and dodge and go under and around. They don't know how to do this because they are out here trying to do things in their own way, in their own strength, without no type of counsel, without no type of help. They're going piecing parts together. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to be cheap. They're not willing to invest in themselves. Do you know investing in yourself is part of self-care? Do you know that investing in yourself is part of your well-being? when you go to your doctor, take, do that exam on you, and they prescribe you prescriptions, or they do that exam on you and they prescribe you, they may tell you to, take some vitamins, or, eat certain kind of foods, or like all that is part of investing in yourself. And though your insurance may cover those things, your insurance may cover some of those things, you have to understand why you have to make a decision when it comes down to taking care of your well-being. All right. One thing I just want to just highlight this part for, about myself, because I know what it feels like. I have experienced being married to an unhealthy spouse. And so I know the importance of taking care of yourself and making sure that you're prioritizing yourself, because you deal with so much heavy stuff. You deal with so much junk. You deal with so much stuff. And if you are not in a healthy place, that thing will take you under. It will literally take you out. I make sure that I prioritize my nail day. I prioritize my hair time. I prioritize my facials. I get my certain products, I'm doing the month. I prioritize when it comes down to what I'm going to eat during the week. I prioritize my vitamins. I make sure I have certain vitamins that I eat. I invest in these things. I actually pay and get these types of things for myself, right? I don't look at the price when it comes down to that kind of stuff. When I need I'm a candle girl, so I like candles. I like to go and prioritize myself and get me some candles. I like to read, so I buy a whole lot of books. I like to look nice when I walk around my home in front of my husband, so I like to put on me some nice clothes. But I make sure that I'm prioritizing myself, right? You have to understand this is important for you to maintain this journey. And even with your husband not being in the home with you, and even with your husband you and your husband not being together, you have to understand, when you look good, you feel good, okay? When you look good, you feel good. It's important that you put yourself first on this journey, not your husband, okay? Let me repeat that. It's important that you put yourself first on this journey, not your husband. For my wives who are in the home with their husbands, bae, God bless you. Okay? If you are in a home with your husband and you are in a rocky season, and you guys are not on a good place, and if things are not good between y'all, you have to know how to take care of yourself, even in that. And so many wives get so confused because they feel like, well, if he's here, I gotta be this way, I gotta do this. No, you gotta learn how to carve some time out for yourself. You have to learn how to separate yourself from what you got going on. You have to learn how to go and sketch some time out for yourself. Go for your walks. Go somewhere. Go hang out. My daddy used to tell me, just put some clothes on, just act like you going somewhere. Even if you just go and sit in the parking lot, just act like you going somewhere. Like, you gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself, because the enemy's goal in this, and what the enemy is doing, he's trying to take you out. He's trying to take your mind. He's trying to take your heart, and he's trying to take your emotions. And he know that women are emotional beings. All right, we are emotional beings. Especially during certain times of the month. Hello, okay. Especially during certain times of the month for the ones who are still in that area, or still dealing with that. He knows that we are emotional beings, so different things come up. And so many wives are just trying to, I want my husband back, I want my husband back, I want my husband back. And they are draining themselves. They are literally taking themselves under because they're not willing to prioritize yourself. Listen, wife, it's important. It's important. Go check on your eyes. Go get your teeth fixed. Go sit somewhere. I used to just go sit at the mall and just sit in the area just to see the people. I ain't gonna spend no money. I ain't gonna do it. Just go take care of you during this time. Take care of you during this time. Find you a healthy outlet, to push through that pressure. Okay. One of the biggest and most impactful things you can do for yourself right now is get connected to the right provider. You need accountability on this journey. Okay. You need somebody to help you walk this journey out in the most healthiest way. All right. We are less than 2 weeks. We have less than 2 weeks in this month of August, and I want to encourage wives to not wait on prioritizing their well-being. You, wife, need to get in a place where you can hear from God And you have to also understand, wife, that God cares about you. He cares about you. He cares about your heart. He cares about your mind. He cares about your emotion. He cares about what you're going through. He cares about how your husband is treating you. He cares about what's going on. He cares about what's taking place in your marriage. He cares about you. But because wives are not willing to yield and release control and surrender their will over to God, it's out of his hands. It's out of his control. Okay? You need to connect with the right provider to get the necessary help that you need. You need someone to walk with you through your journey. Do not be out here deceived, lacking knowledge, and without wise counsel. Do you not understand that those things can hinder you? Those things can hurt you. Those things can keep you in a holding cell, okay? Those things can do that. What you don't know can hurt you later. What you don't know about your marriage separation journey can hurt you later. Some wives are out here doing things, and and this is the part, when they call and we're trying to decide whether or not you want to do a consultation or not, and they telling me the stuff that they be doing, I'm saying to myself, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then they hang up the phone with not signing up for a consultation. It's like, that marriage right there is going down. that what she is doing, that marriage is going down. Because what she is doing is not wise, is not recommended. She has no idea she's making her situation worse than better by doing those things. Okay? You have to know that what you don't know can hurt you. And if you are in the middle of something and you are unsure about, what's going on, or you're unsure about your marriage concern, your marriage separation, you need to get connected with someone who can help you. Whether your husband is inside of the home or whether he is outside of the home. Whether he's inside the home and you guys live in a separate life, or he's outside of the home. Okay? You need to get the necessary help. Don't wait on your husband. Stop this. Let me say this in closing. Because I get too many wives who be telling me that, oh, well, my husband is, my husband don't want to get help, or, my husband done moved on. Listen, you don't care nothing about what your husband have going on, okay? Hello, you don't care about that. What you care about is making sure that you get what you need. God holds your husband accountable for his part, and God holds you, wife, accountable for your part, okay? You don't have no control over your husband. Your husband don't have no control over you. You have to make sure that you are prioritizing yourself. God does hold us accountable for stewarding ourselves well. And so many wives do not understand that. They do not understand that principle. But God holds you accountable for stewarding yourself well. You're thinking that I have to do this with my husband, and you do not. You do not. And if your husband is in a position or a place where he's not ready to get the help, you need to pursue and get the necessary help for yourself. All right? Don't be out here waiting for your husband, and then your husband still doing what he's doing, and now you done went a whole year, and now your situation got worse. Or you out here trying to befriend your husband, you trying to be your husband's friend, and now y'all done being friends, y'all done being intimate, y'all been kicking it, and 6 months done passed, and now he done reverted, and now he's going back out to the streets. You need counsel. You need help. You need to let somebody walk with you on this journey. You need somebody who can give you sound counsel and sound wisdom about what you got going on. And so many wives are losing out because of that reason. Don't let another month go by without prioritizing yourself. All right. The most important person to help during the time of a marriage separation is you. Okay, it's you. And so, and I want to just say there's 3 ways you can work with me, wife. There are 3 ways that you can work with Coach T. You can sign up for your consultation. Your consultation is you getting that sound counsel, that sound wisdom. You getting information about your marriage, your marriage separation. You asking some questions that you're unaware of, some things that you're still struggling with. You're trying to figure this thing out. You can sign up for your consultation. Or 2, you can sign up for your mental and emotional detox sessions for 30 days. All right. This is my bestseller. It has been one of my best sellers during the summertime. It has really, really helped a lot of wives navigate through this journey. This is where we talk and we walk through your mental warfare and your emotional grief. This is a lot of times when wives need to talk about their situations. They need to talk about their husbands. They need to talk about their pain. They need to talk about, what he's doing. These are the sessions for you to talk through that. With these sessions, if you have not had a consultation, these sessions does include your consultation. So you can sign up for the mental and emotional detox for 30 days. Or my my biggest one, her Buoyancy Boost. This is my signature curriculum. Her Buoyancy Boost. This is to help the wife to recover you. This is for the wife who said, I'm gonna put my husband on the shelf, and I'm gonna go and see about taking care of me. I'm gonna prioritize my well-being. I'm gonna prioritize my self-care. I'm gonna prioritize myself in this season and see what it is that what else does God want me to do? And when God tells me and heal me and do what he need to do with me, then I'm gonna come back to my husband. I'm gonna put my husband on the shelf right now. I want to focus on me. That's what the Her Buoyancy Boost curriculum is all about. Okay, so you can sign up either 3 of those ways. You can sign up either 3 of those ways at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Listen, ladies, you have to find a healthy outlet to deal with the pressure that goes along with a unhealthy marriage, with a marriage separation. You have to learn how to navigate through these things in the most healthiest way. Okay, sign up today at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Listen, now I heard that it is also Black Business Month. Black small businesses, Black Business Month. And so listen, I get wives asking me, how can they support Coach T? How can they pour back into my business? One of the ways that you can support Coach T is by purchasing your own download of her own boss manual. It's a real easy to read, real step-by-step, way to read. And it also has some good information in there if you are interested or have ever been thinking about starting your own business. It's not just about business, but it does help you to it gives you a visual of what it is that you want to do next, like what's next for you. And if you have ever thought about starting your own coaching or consulting business, this is also an opportunity for you to utilize this manual to help you do that as well. All right, I share some information in there. I give you some some scriptures in there, some things to kind of look about and some things to think about. But we are in a season, in a time where God is saying, look, I'm calling you to more. I'm calling you to more, and I need you to get ready for that more. And so if you want to support, even if you don't need it, even if you don't, maybe a young upcoming person who may be interested in starting a business one day, I want to encourage you to get this Her Own Boss manual for them. All right, I'm going to connect the link at the bottom, so you can also just click that link and you can just sign up, and I will send you over the download. All right, but if you're ready to do your work, if you're ready to start healing for yourself, if you're ready to move forward and recover you, if you have questions and you're undecided about your next steps in your marriage, sign up for your consultation today. www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Listen, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Friday. I'll talk to you soon. Blessings.